You've been training for years, but you still look the same. You're doing everything right, tracking your food, hitting the gym, but the needle isn't moving. What if the real reason you're stuck has nothing to do with your workout and everything to do with two specific hormones? In this video, I'm going to break down two critical hormones that are often overlooked and can put a hard stop on your progress. More importantly, I'll give you a straightforward plan to get them working for you and not against you. Hi, my name is Boris Kish. I'm an IFBB license coach, professional nutritionist, and a super heavyweight bodybuilding competitor in the over 100 kilo category, which is over 220 pounds on stage. I'm 6'4" tall, which is 193 centimeters. Welcome to my channel. And before we start this video, I want to tell you that this video is for people who are not genetic freaks, like me, for example. For everything that I got in my bodybuilding career, I had to earn. That means for people who are struggling with fat loss and, for the people who are not, genetical freaks, that they can gain muscles really easy, right? I mean, of course, there are always exceptions who can eat everything, and I know those people, and I was always jealous about them during my career. Not completely, but there are also guys who can eat everything in the off season, still have six-pack, maybe clean food a little bit before the contest, and they were ripped, as fuck. I mean, they look unbelievable. I was never one of those. And they were, as I said, there were people who were eating everything, drinking beer, partying, and look amazing. So this is for all of us normal people. And of course, if you want to take your training split to the next level, I made 3 completely free training splits. A link is below. I'll send them straight to your email. Number 1, let's start with the first hormone, and that's cortisol, or cortisol in English. Cortisol is the stress hormone that simply, when cortisol is up, the body is in the, how to explain this in the simplest possible way without giving you the science mumbo jumbo. The body is in the fight or flight mode. It can also go into the fawn mode or freeze mode. And that means that the body is like, holding everything together. It's preparing for the war. The body doesn't know, are you in the war, or you're simply, having too much stress, or you're putting some bullshit stimulants in your system. I mean, if the cortisol is high, you won't get enough sleep. You won't, also with not proper sleep, you will be anxious. You will be depressed. There is not going to be any pump in the gym, and you won't be strong enough, Of course, if the cortisol is high, central nervous system, CNS, is not going to be repaired even 7 days after you did the workout. And again, you won't be able to hit, the proper weight in the gym, And what causes this much amount of cortisol? I mean, caffeine, that I'm also guilty of, you have to cut caffeine as much as possible. Now I understand fully that a lot of us cannot get rid of caffeine completely. This is why I'm going to give you a substitute alternative. You have to sleep at least 7 hours per day. If you're not able to do that, you're also allowed to sleep 1-2 hours, and I'm not going to tell you that you're allowed. Of course you're allowed, but it's highly recommended that you sleep at least 1-2 hours per day, more hours, additional hours in the afternoon, just that your recovery is better, Some people say that sleeping is not that important, that you can, if you're not natural lifter like I am, of course, because I was competing. I'm not at the moment, but I'm not fully natural, that, substances, pads, steroids, all other stuff can recompensate for cortisol and for bad sleep. I can tell you honestly, from my experience, it's not possible. If cortisol is really high, you will look flat, you will look soft, and of course, the fat loss, the most important thing I mean, the point of going to the gym, right, is putting muscles and staying lean, staying fit. You know, this is what we are supposed to, this is what we are trying to do as long as we are going to the gym, as long as we are alive, right? And, you know, if the cortisol is high, just think logically, you know, this is the hormone that is signaling the brain and the body that we cannot, that you cannot burn fat, because it's like panic mode. Do you understand? I mean, why would the body burn fat if the adrenaline, noradrenaline, you know, and all those stress hormones are skyrocketing? It won't. Do you understand? So the body is then holding everything that it has as a reserve. This is why everything else will suffer. The solution are two really good supplements, rhodiola rosea and L-theanine. You can put saffron inside before the bed. Also before the bed you can add some GABA. And, you know, of course, this is going to reduce the cortisol. And I would suggest, you know, you can do some cardio, some light cardio by walking outside 30, 40, 50 minutes. It's going to help a lot. And, you know, how can I tell you, you know, but the most important thing is that you flush everything negative from your life. I mean, if you have a bad partner, if you have a bad colleagues at work, non-supportive family, bad boss, I know that you cannot change the job from day one to day two or get divorced. I'm not telling you to do that, but you know, if your life is not in order, simply the fat loss and the muscle building won't go as good as they are supposed to go, you know. And I can also tell you something that nobody else told you. Probably you didn't hear this on YouTube. When I was competing, it's not only about me, it's also about the other competitors. You can go on the stage, you know, look great, and you can have somebody who is completely going to mess you up. For example, crazy girlfriend or crazy boyfriend, of course, they can call you, they can, you know, how piss you off, cortisol goes up, you go on the stage bloated and you look off. Maybe you saw some Mr. Olympia competitors, if you're following that like me, who look great before, you know, the contest, and then you see them on the stage and they look like maybe they're 4 weeks out or 6 weeks out, and you think that they were not so disciplined. And nobody knows, you know, on the contest day, for example, you are supposed to turn your phones off, you're supposed to fuck everybody negative from your life. Because if somebody spikes your cortisol, you can do everything perfect, and 16, 20 weeks of dieting on the top of all the chemicals that you're using are not going to help you. Do you understand? You're going to look like shit. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger said in one of his videos, I think actually in Pumping Iron, but you know, Arnold was really heavily focused. I mean, I have great respect and admiration for him as a bodybuilder, of course. Like, if my girlfriend leaves me, I don't care. If somebody steals my car, I don't care. You know, my father died, I was not going to the funeral. This is what he said. I mean, he's already dead. What can I do about it? Mr. Olympia is coming soon and I cannot do anything about it, you know. Not recommending that this is what you're supposed to do if something like that happens in your family, but I can fully emphasize with him, he was living from that, he was making his career. It makes perfect sense for me. Do you understand? And of course, if you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more real, no fluff fitness advice. Now let's go to number two. Number two is insulin. I was explaining this in one of my previous episodes. I mean, if insulin sensitivity is poor, nutrients don't go where they're supposed to go. What does that mean? I mean, let's say that you're dieting, and usually I fucked that up when I was younger. I'm not going to lie to you. You can have, you know, low carb diet. Let's say you eat 2000 calories and you decide, okay, I will eat some small piece of chocolate with sugar, blah, blah, blah. during the day, it's not going to mess up anything. Yes, it is, because if you want really to burn fat, it's really important that insulin is fully down, okay? Whenever you're putting some unprocessed, badly processed carbs, some sugars, higher amount of carbs that you're supposed to take, just think logically, the body gets a signal, okay, we need to store this, he doesn't want to burn fat, he is giving us additional sugars that we are supposed to store as energy. The body doesn't understand what is bodybuilding, what is fitness lifestyle, what is looking fit. Do you understand? The body will always store whatever it can, I mean, if your insulin sensitivity is bad, you will have weak pumps in the gym, you will have this you will have this fat under your chest, you will have this lifeboat, of fat around your waist, and you're going to look like crap, and you can take every pre-workout with Argo, dextrose, maltodextrin before the gym, and simply the carbs won't go in. I mean, insulin sensitivity gets damaged from constant sugar intake, processed carbs, and of course, as I explained, you repeated spikes during the day, I mean, when the body constantly receives those storage signals, it struggles to enter the true fat burning state. Do you understand? That's why periods of, I would say, lower carbs, of course, higher protein and moderate fats, or the best solution that I'm going to give you at the end, keto phases, can help you reset sensitivity until the, body fat drops. So the simple solution would be here, as I said, I explain you what the nutrients should be, but I would say that you should, for example, take 2 full months of ketogenic diet. Do you understand? So that you go below 15% of body fat. If you're above 15%, I mean, if you have really high amount of body fat that we need to take care about, the link is in the description. Coaching one-on-one with me. I will gladly help you with everything. We can work this together. But if you're not that overweight, you have to go down to under 15%, and then you have to do, this slow, how can I say, what's the proper word in English, reverse dieting, I mean, the point is that you rest your pancreas, that it doesn't produce insulin so much if you are already not functioning properly. And I want to say, of course, I'm not a doctor. This video I explain you is not for genetic freaks, and also not for people who are really having health issues. The bottom line is simple. High cortisol breaks down and protects fat stores. Poor insulin sensitivity stores instead of utilizing nutrients. When both are out of balance, you can train hard, but your body won't translate that work into visible results. And that's why so many people lift same weights for years and still look the same. Have you ever felt like you're training hard, dieting hard, but your body just won't respond? Tell me in the comment section, tell me how did you fix it, and what do you think about this topic in general. And if you want to learn the real truth about progressive overload and how to apply it properly, click on this video right here, and I'll see you there.